Hello. This is Monday night, but it's gonna be posted Tuesday at 3 p.m. Um, this is chapter Exodus 12. Excuse me. I'm still working on feeling better. Ooh, just to let you know, I'm at 243 pounds in a week period. So, and lost 323 pounds in a month period. Oh, that's pretty good. So anyway, Passover and installed. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be your beginning of the months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th of this month every man shall take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for lamb, let him and his neighbors next to his house take according to the number of persons, according to each man's need, you shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemishes, a male the first year. You may take it for the sheep or from the goats. Now you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill at the twilight, and they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorstops, on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. Then they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boil it at all with water, but roast it in the fire. Its head from its legs and its entrails. You shall not let none of it remain until morning. What remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire, and thou you shall eat it, with a belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt on that night, and I will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Now the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. So this day shall be to you a memorial, and you shall keep it as a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it as a feast by everlasting ordinance. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall remove leaven from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread with the first day until the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. On the first day there shall be a holy convention, and on the 7th day there shall be a holy convention for you. No manner of work shall be done on them, but that which everyone must eat, that only may be prepared for you. So you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. On this same day I will have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations as an everlasting ordinance. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month of evening. For 7 days no leaven shall be found in the houses, since whoever eats what is leavened, that same person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a stranger or a native of the land. You shall eat nothing unleavened. In all your dwellings you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, take lambs for yourselves, according to your families, and kill the Passover lamb. And you shall Take a bunch of jasper, dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood as in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of the house until morning, for the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorposts, the Lord will pass over the door and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. And you shall observe the thing as an ordinance for you and your sons forever. It will come to pass when you come to the land which the Lord will give you, just as he promised, that you shall keep this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, what do you mean by this service? That you shall say, it is the Passover sacrifice of the Lord, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians and delivered our households. So the people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did so, just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. 10th plague, death of the firstborn. Now it came to pass at midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. Firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, all the firstborn livestock. So Pharaoh rose in the night, and he and the servants and all the Egyptians. There was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. The Exodus. Then he called to Moses and Aaron by night and said, arise, go out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as you have said. Also take your flocks, your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians urged the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we shall all be dead. So the people took their dough before it, and was unleavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their cloths on their shoulders. Now the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moses, and had asked from the Egyptians articles of silver, articles, gold, and clothing. And the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. Then the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides children. A mixed multitude went up with them also, and flocks, herds, a great deal of livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of Egypt. For it was not unleavened, because they were driven out of Egypt, and could not wait, nor could they prepare provisions for themselves. Now the solemn of the children of Israel have lived in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, on the very same day it came to pass that all the armies of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. Now it is a night of solemn observance to the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is the night of the Lord, a solemn observance of all the children of Israel throughout their generations. Passover regulations. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreign shall eat it, but every man's servant who has bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then he may eat it. A psalm and a hired servant shall not eat it. In one house it shall be eaten. You shall not carry any of the flesh outside the house, nor shall you break one of its bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger dwells with you and wants to keep Passover of the Lord, let his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be a native land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat it. One law shall be for the native born, for the stranger who dwells among you. Else all the children of Israel did as the Lord commanded. Moses and Aaron, so they did. came to pass on the very same day that the Lord brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, according to their armies. So that was chapter 12. Yeah, that was a long chapter. But anyway, the Lord delivered the Israelites out of Egypt like He's going to. They just had to have patience because it's the Lord's time. Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Pharaoh was being so stubborn. But if you look at it also, what does God say? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. He did vengeance on Egypt. That's the reason why He hardened the heart, because of how much pain the Israelites, His people, went through, was how much pain He was going to give Pharaoh. And that's exactly what He did. Gave Pharaoh a lot of pain. And he lost everything. But we'll get to that soon, where he loses everything, the Pharaoh does, because of, not obeying and doing what he did to the Israelites, which he shouldn't have done. So he learned a very hard and very powerful lesson, that you don't mess with God unless you want to suffer really bad consequences. And that's what happened to the Pharaoh. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, help people to listen to this wonderful message that I present to you from your word, Father. In Jesus' heavenly name, amen. Talk to you guys later. Bye.